AI is crazy. Last week, my team opened up a deal worth $150,000 per year. And here's what's crazy. The deal wasn't uncovered using the perfect email pitch. We didn't spend hours flying for a face-to-face meeting. The reality is, we used a free tool to uncover this opportunity. And I'm about to show you exactly how we did it. Look, most salespeople are still doing things the hard way. They're spending 3 hours to write one email, or they're Googling or ChatGPTing how to handle objections before every call. And they end up just winging it while on the phone with a prospect. But what if I told you there's a way to have a world-class sales strategist sitting right next to you for every customer call? Someone who knows the different sales tactics, consultative selling, how to handle objections, and it's completely free. The tool that I use is called Claude. Many of you know about it, some of you don't. And there's another alternative called ChatGPT. Most know about that one. But if you use these tools the right way, they will change the way you think about sales forever. There are 5 ways you can use free AI tools to start closing more deals today. And the first way is simply booking more meetings using AI. First, let's talk about booking meetings. Instead of sending the same generic, I'd love to connect message that everyone ignores. Like, you've got them, I've got them, no one pays attention to those. Instead, I feed Claude information about the prospect and I ask it to craft a personalized message. Here's what I mean. I'm going to share my screen. And in this message, for example, I'll say, "Hi, I'm reaching out to John Smith, who owns a pool installation company in Denver. I'm working on selling him, let's say, cybersecurity services, because that's what I do in real life. Cybersecurity services for his business. I want you to craft a LinkedIn message that will get him to respond and agree to a meeting with me." Bang. Now let's watch and see what Claude can do. By the way, I use Claude. Maybe you prefer ChatGPT. In the end, it really doesn't matter. My understanding is that Claude is better at writing more human emails. So let's see what Claude came up with. It said, "Hi, John. I noticed you're building a solid pool installation business in Denver. Impressive work. Quick question. With all the customer data and payment info and projects you're coming to the team, I asked because pool contracts are instantly..." Okay, which I want to do. So I want to adjust this message. Hey, I want the message to reference a recent cyber attack in his area and to get to the point much faster. So this is the kind of stuff you can do with Claude. And maybe you've been doing this already, but I'm going to show you something maybe you're not doing yet. So here, really quick, after the recent Denver ransomware attacks, saw the news stuff about ransomware attacks hitting Denver business last month. Pretty scary stuff. As a pool contract, quick 15 minutes. Okay, cool. That could work. Okay, I want you to be more specific about a business or organization that was attacked. And instead of one email, I want you to create a series of 7 emails to send over the next 10 days. Maybe for the first email, we don't ask for a meeting. Bang. So this was really cool. You're going to see this. Instead of just sending one email message and blasting all over LinkedIn or blasting whatever email list you may have access to as a salesperson, you can play the long game, right? And at scale, this becomes really, really, really hard. But this is something you can do and make it personalized. Hey, I saw the news about DaVita getting hit with the ransomware. Have you seen it in April? The Denver health company lost, bang, as a pool contract here to become a business. Just wanted you to be aware these attacks are hitting Denver business really hard. Stay safe. Bang. See, really cool email. No one's going to be annoyed by this. And clearly, this is a real story. And actually, because I don't trust AI blindly, DaVita cyber attack. Let's see if this was real. Let's ask Google. Yeah, this came out 2 days ago. Insane. Wow. Okay. Well, turned out that is real after all. So let's keep looking. Then day 3, industry context, following up with the DaVita attack. Here's why pool contract increasing. This is good. So if we drip this over time, eventually, after offering value and explaining how it's going to be relevant to him, we'll either get a response from this guy and ask him for a meeting. No, you can program this with basic email tools. I think even Outlook allows you to program emails. So this is one way to get people to attend meetings. You've got to offer them some sort of value. Maybe you don't sell cybersecurity. Maybe you sell something else. Claude will help you get creative. The better information you provide your AI, whether it's Claude, whether it's GPT or whatever, the better information you're going to get out. This sort of thing will increase your conversion rate or your meeting booking rate almost overnight, just because of it's a lot more personalized and it's not some generic thing. So the next thing you can use, so we talked about how to book more meetings, but what about old leads? Like you've had leads, or maybe you've had customers that just stopped responding to you, or you have prospects or email and leads that agreed to a meeting, no-showed, won't respond to you anymore. There's some things and campaigns you can use using AI to help you revive those leads without putting in so much hours and time into it, right? Because that's the limit we all have as salespeople, is like where you invest your time is extremely important. You get to use AI to get that time back and not waste those leads. So let's look. I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new chat. So let's say I had a cybersecurity lead that decided they didn't have time for it and they just stopped responding. So I'll type to Claude. I sell cybersecurity services. Tell them again. And eventually you can create a project so it knows you don't have to reteach it, things like this, but I don't feel like doing that right now. I have a cybersecurity service and I help businesses. Let's say Denver again. I don't know why I'm picking on Denver. In Denver, I have a lead that has gone cold. They agreed to a meeting, but never showed. This was a local school district, and I need some help crafting a campaign that will bring this lead back to life. I think it's important to reference something local, like a story of ransomware or budget cuts for cybersecurity to get their attention. The end goal is to get them back on a meeting with me. Craft 7 emails to send over the next 14 days. And this is something that we're doing for one lead. But let's say you have a lead list from, 100 leads in a particular area, or just 100 leads in general. You could modify this and have this work across 100 people. The work that ChatGPT or Claude is doing for you right now in creating this email campaign is something that would have taken you a lot of time. And my favorite thing about this is it allows it to be very custom for this area. So maybe you have leads in different regions. Maybe you have got some in a certain state. What you could do is you could put all your leads from the state of Pennsylvania in one spreadsheet, a separate spreadsheet or a separate tab for all the ones in California, and hit them with very personalized and localized campaigns, which makes it seem like there's aren't just generic emails you're sending out, but actually very personalized, especially if you're reaching out to a specific vertical like school districts or healthcare companies. Whatever it is, you can make it very specific and talk to their specific pain points. Let's look at the first one to see how they did. Denver Public Schools breach. Are you next? Hope you're doing well. Have you maybe seen the news? Denver Public Schools cyber incident earlier this year. Employee data including. Wow, this is scary. What struck me wasn't the breach itself, is how it could have been prevented with the right security measures in place. This is good. Someone responsible for protecting. Ooh, this is strong. Your district's data and operations. I imagine this keeps you up at night. Would you be open for a 15-minute conversation about how we can ensure your district doesn't come to the next headline? Okay, that's not bad. I like the idea of leading with value, especially if the lead's already cold, rather than just going in with another ask right away. So this is just a personal preference. You don't have to do this. I'm going to tell Claude in the first few emails, I'd like them to be shorter and not have an ask in them, but simply provide value. Also, be more specific in the story you reference. Which school, when, right? Bang. So now I'm going to have it change those early emails. By the way, notice it's just taking me just having a conversation with ChatGPT, and I'm saying ChatGPT, this one's Claude, and Claude's spitting out the updated emails for me. Guys, this is something anybody can do. Anybody can use this. Engage old leads. Engage, maybe you have customers that they've only bought one of your products and you sell 5 of them. Get them back on the hook. by speaking directly to their pain points and over time sharing how you can address that and solve whatever problem it is that they have. So this is how easy it works. I don't need to go one by one. You can see the emails. I do want to show you how it adjusted it. So let's give Claude a quick second. The local wake-up call, DPS breach, 15,000 employees, data compromised. Hope you're doing well. I know our meeting didn't work out, but something that's awesome. Remember I said that the customer's been ghosting us. Denver Public Schools disclosed a major cybersecurity event that happened December 13th and January 13th. Wow. An unauthorized actor accessed employee. You can read it here. I'll share some broader industry statistics in a few days that put this in perspective. There's no ask. Simply value in something getting their attention. You might get a response by not asking for anything. It's crazy how that works. A third thing you can do if you want to increase your show rate. So one was booking meetings by sending the email messages. Second one was getting people to revive from being cold leads or being dead accounts. The third one is customizing your meeting agendas. I lead a team of 200 salespeople at a cybersecurity software company. And one of the things I see the most is that customers agree to a meeting and a lot of times they do intend on showing up, but life happens. So if someone agrees to a meeting a week ago, they may have had a kid break their leg at soccer practice or whatever. If you think they're still thinking about your cybersecurity meeting, you're wrong. Life happens. They got a wife at home. They've got drama at work. They got all kind of stuff. It's easy to forget things. So one of the things people usually don't do is use the power of a meeting agenda on your calendar invite. So if you're using Outlook, or if you're using Zoom or whatever calendar tool you're using, leverage the agenda to remind them why they want to show up. And most people just use generic agendas, right? They'll either just wing it and just put something up there. Hey, great talking to you. I look forward to seeing you in the meeting. What I like to do is instead I'll give Claude the prospect's background, their industry challenges, and ask it to create an agenda using, let's say, the MEDIC framework, right? So for example, I have a prospect. Let's say this one's based in Buffalo. He has what kind of business does this guy have? He has a manufacturing business. And he agreed to a discovery call to see how I can help him protect his company from cyber attacks, right? Please use the MEDIC. If you're not familiar with MEDIC, it's just a sales methodology to create a meeting agenda that will speak to his pain points and really make him want to show up. This meeting agenda is what I will add into the Outlook calendar invite. Once you get used to doing this, it takes less time and you can just save these prompts, right? You could save that prompt somewhere in a sticky note on your computer or in a Word file, copy and paste it, and you can just change out the prospect in their hometown, right? And it'll do it for you. So clearly, Claude's thinking right now, and it's going to spit out a calendar invite that will remind the customer why it's important to show up to this meeting. And if you're not using calendar invites, this is a good reminder to use it. There we go. Yeah, see that? So the first thing, it says manufacturing specific. This is interesting. I'm going to go back up here. Manufacturing specific cyber threat landscape. So current ransomware attacks targeting Buffalo and Great Lakes manufacturing sector. Real costs. Operational assessment, production line, supply chain risk. We're going to cover all this stuff. And then if there's stuff you don't like, you just modify it. But I could easily copy and paste this into a calendar invite. And it looks like I'm going into this prepared with something specific for this customer. It doesn't look like I'm just randomly cold calling everybody with a freaking pulse. Instead, it looks like I've taken the time for this guy. I've done some market research. I understand the pain points for manufacturers. I know nothing about manufacturing, but Claude does. That's the power of using AI. There's two more things I'm going to cover very quickly. The fourth one I learned from one of my guys on my team. It's how to use custom slide decks or slide presentations. Now, what's interesting is I recognize, and many of you do, generic corporate slides don't close deals. Personalized presentations do. This might actually be a paid feature, so be prepared for that. But you can give Claude whatever their business challenges are, any industry trends, or tell Claude to use industry trends. Ask it to help structure a presentation that speaks directly to their pain points. and even help you craft stories and case studies that match their specific situation. So I'm presenting a slide deck to a prospect that I am selling cybersecurity services for. Please create a slide deck for this customer that addresses his industry's pain points and industry trends. He is in Buffalo in manufacturing. The slide deck should not be too long. Let's see how Claude does with this. And in the case that it does require you to have the paid version for this, I'm unsure because I've had the paid version for quite a while now. I will show you guys really quickly while this one's loading. In fact, let's save some time. While this one's loading, I'm going to paste the exact same thing into this thing called Gamma. It is completely free. And I'm going to do this. Create new from scratch. I'm going to say generate from prompt line. I'm presenting a slide deck for bang, bang, bang. You can see there. Let me correct my typos there. It's going to generate the outline. And Gamma's free. It's a free tool. You saw it. They do have a paid version, but they do have a free version as well, which you can use. Okay, this is really cool, but this is not a slide deck. Okay, let's say we like this style. I like this one. This one looks cool. You guys saw I literally just typed one sentence, maybe two. Bang. And what am I going to get? A customized slide deck. Look at this. This is insane. Common pain points we solve for manufacturers. Production downtime. Limited monitoring. All this stuff. Imagine how long this would have taken you to create this slide deck manually. Something custom. Now, anybody can use the same generic slide deck for everybody. And I'll tell you how we use this. We don't just take every slide and use it for every customer. What a lot of times we'll do, my team and I, we'll have our general slide deck that we use for customers, but we'll take one or two slides that are completely custom and put that early on in the slide deck. But you can see here, man, real impact, protecting Buffalo manufacturers like you, reduced downtime, supply chain security, compliance rating, comprehensive protection. And it even throws in images that are pretty cool. Budget constraint, locals company often prioritize operational spending over security investments. That's so true. That is so true. 23% of ransomware attacks. Wow, this is crazy. Manufacturing was the #1 targeted industry for ransomware in 2021. 61%. Like, this is all stuff created from scratch with one sentence. Imagine how much better this could be if I took the time to write more than one sentence to give it a lot more instruction. This is what Claude did while we were over there. Cybersecurity solutions for manufacturing, protecting your manufacturing, the #1 targeted industry, 4th consecutive year. 26% of all targets. Like, guys, this is stuff you could use, and it took me one sentence. There's no longer any excuses to use generic presentation. You can make it specific to every prospect, down to the contact level. I didn't even go there. Maybe you have a prospect name and their title at the company, how long they've been there. You can customize it down to that level, but it does get creepy after a while, so be careful with that. There's so many different ways AI is absolutely disrupting sales. But if all I did was leave you with these 4 and didn't tell you the 5th way you could use AI, I would be doing you a disservice. The 5th way you can use AI in sales to close more deals is using AI email responses, leveraging a specific sales methodology. I just said a mouthful there, and I'm not sure anybody understood me. So let me explain what I mean. Maybe you use the Sandler sales technique, or you've ever heard of Challenger sales or Medic. It's also very, very popular. These are different sales methodologies. So let's say we got an objection or a customer saying, hey, I need more time to think about this. We're just not ready to buy yet. So, hey, create an email where a customer is saying no to my cybersecurity services because they need more time to think about it and they don't have the bandwidth to implement anything new right now. So right now I'm having Claude create a fake objection email to me. Right? You guys have all had people say, yeah, man, I'm really interested in this. It sounds really cool. I just don't have the time or the bandwidth to try anything new right now, but contact me later in the future. So I'm going to have Claude create this thing. So look, you can see, after taking the time, after careful consideration, we decided we need to pass moving forward your service this time. Our team is in the middle of a major system migration, won't complete it until Q2. This isn't a reflection on your proposal. They're just making excuses. Claude can't do that. I'm going to say, now respond to this email using the challenger sales technique to get them to agree to another meeting with me. So this is the part I wanted to show you. If you're familiar with a specific sales methodology and you're trying to learn one, you can have Claude use that specific sales technique or that specific sales strategy, because Claude knows challenger sales. Claude knows, and so does ChatGPT. They know all these sales methodologies already. Okay, I like this. I like this, but way too long. Make it shorter. And it even lays out how it's using the challenger sales technique. Okay, so it says, I understand the bandwidth issue with your migration, which is exactly why 73% of cyber attacks happen during system transition when teams are stretched thin. Oh my gosh, that's good. A client postponed security until after their migration 3 weeks ago before go live. Ransomware hit and destroyed their new deployment and legacy backup, cost them $2.3 million and 8 months of delays. Your migration isn't preventing you from addressing security. It is your biggest security risk right now. I'm not asking for this is good. Anyways, this is how you can use it. This video has been long enough, so I don't want to stretch it any longer. And right now, if you look at the link in the description, you can get access to my free course on how to use AI in sales. Doesn't cost anything. It's a free email course. I'm going to send you 1 email a week for the next 7 weeks, teaching you different methods just like the one you saw in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye.